Hades, the ancient Greek god of the underworld, is one of the most complex, feared, and misunderstood deities of the classical world. Unlike his more celebrated brothers, Zeus and Poseidon, Hades did not rule the skies or the seas. His domain lay in the shadows, deep beneath the surface of the earth, in the realm of the dead. Yet he was never a god of evil or chaos. Instead, Hades represented balance, order, inevitability, and the sacred boundary between life and death. Born from the union of the titans Cronus and Rhea, Hades was one of 6 siblings: Hestia, Demeter, Hera, Poseidon, and Zeus. Like his brothers and sisters, he was swallowed by Cronus at birth, an act driven by the Titan's fear of being overthrown by his own children. Only Zeus was spared, hidden away by Rhea, until he could return and force Cronus to regurgitate his siblings. When the Olympian gods rose up and waged war against the Titans, a conflict known as the Titanomachy, Hades fought fiercely beside his brothers. After the victory, the 3 sons of Cronus divided the cosmos by drawing lots. Zeus received the sky, Poseidon the sea, and Hades the underworld. Contrary to popular belief, Hades was not banished, nor did he receive a lesser realm. His rule was equal in power and importance. The underworld was not a place of punishment alone. It was the final destination of all souls, the home of ancestral spirits, the seat of judgment, and the vault of earthly wealth. In fact, Hades was also known as Pluton, meaning the wealthy one, referring to the riches, gold, gems, fertile soil, that came from beneath the earth. His name was often avoided in casual speech out of fear and reverence. To invoke Hades was to acknowledge mortality, a reality that Greeks both respected and dreaded. Hades governed with stern fairness. He was not cruel, but he was absolute. No soul that entered his realm could return without permission. It was not merely his power that made him feared, but the idea that he enforced one of the few unbreakable laws of the cosmos: all living beings must eventually die. Despite his fearsome reputation, Hades was not a god of torture or malevolence. That role belonged to Thanatos, the personification of death, and the Erinyes, Furies, who punished sinners. Hades oversaw the grand system of justice that categorized souls after death, whether to the blissful Elysium, the neutral Asphodel meadows, or the dreaded Tartarus. These judgments were often carried out by 3 judges: Minos, Rhadamanthus, and Aeacus. Though Hades rarely left his underworld palace, his influence was felt throughout Greece. He was often depicted as a regal figure with a dark beard, a stern face, and a helmet that granted invisibility, known as the Helm of Darkness, a gift from the Cyclopes. This helm was later used by heroes such as Perseus in their quests. Hades wielded a scepter, or staff, sometimes accompanied by Cerberus, his monstrous 3-headed dog who guarded the gates of the underworld. Perhaps the most famous and controversial myth involving Hades is his abduction of Persephone, daughter of Demeter, goddess of agriculture. One day, while Persephone was gathering flowers, Hades emerged from a chasm in the earth and took her to be his queen. This act, often interpreted through modern lenses as a violent kidnapping, was originally seen as a symbolic union between life and death, the cycle of seasons, and feminine transformation. Demeter, devastated by the loss of her daughter, caused all crops to die and the earth to become barren. Eventually, Zeus intervened, sending Hermes to negotiate Persephone's return. However, because Persephone had eaten pomegranate seeds in the underworld, she was bound to return there for part of the year. This myth explains the seasons. When Persephone is with Hades, Demeter mourns, and winter comes. When she returns, spring begins anew. In many versions of the tale, Persephone is not simply a passive victim. Over time, she grows into her role as queen of the dead, ruling beside Hades with equal authority. The couple's relationship is often described as respectful and stable, unlike many Olympian marriages which were rife with betrayal. Hades, in fact, is one of the few gods not known for infidelity or wild love affairs. Though stern and unyielding, he is also loyal and just. Hades also played a central role in several legendary stories. In the myth of Orpheus and Eurydice, the mortal musician Orpheus ventures into the underworld to retrieve his beloved, Eurydice, who had died prematurely. His music moves Hades and Persephone so deeply that they agree to let Eurydice return to life. On one condition, Orpheus must not look back at her until they reach the surface. Tragically, he glances too soon, and she is lost forever. This story is less about punishment and more about the sorrowful finality of death and the frailty of human hope. Another myth involves the hero Heracles, who was tasked with capturing Cerberus as one of his 12 labors. Unlike most who feared the underworld, Heracles entered alive and confronted Hades. The god, impressed by Heracles' bravery and respect, allowed